Hello, my name is Parker Ellis, and I'm a policy analyst for NASA. We are facing a lot of different obstacles, of which most have to do with gas emissions. Fossil fuels are the main source of carbon emissions that we need to combat. Some people are against some of the policies that are presented, so it makes it hard for us to make policies to combat climate change. Many government officials all around the world lately have been making new and improved policies to try to combat the climate change. For example, Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger ordered to have a cut to greenhouse gas emissions by 25% by the year 2020. You can help too. You don't have to wait for your politicians to do something about the issue at hand. Take charge and encourage your politicians to make new standards so we can all help fight climate change.
Hi, I'm Melody Ponce, the energy expert for this team of scientists. The CO2 levels have been rising at a very high rate all around the world. Most of that CO2 release comes from transportation by humans, 34% to be exact. But there are ways that we can lower fossil fuel consumption. We can use electric cars. We can also take more public transportation or ride bikes that don't use any fossil fuels. The greenhouse effect is when these gases absorb the sun's long-wave energy, preventing it from escaping the Earth's system, making it emit the energy in all directions, which warms the Earth's surface. The carbon cycle is the exchange between carbon that takes it from the atmosphere is photosynthesis. The exchange that releases carbon into the atmosphere is respiration. This was all balanced till human activities release CO2 into the atmosphere at a very high rate. We can limit how much CO2 we emit in the atmosphere by monitoring big companies and factories. Two new energy sources we can use are hydropower and wind energy.
I'm Tara Karana, an urban planner in this team of scientists. Urban planners have been working to make buildings and communities more energy efficient. To avoid making climate change more dangerous than it already is, the fossil fuel use of buildings would need to be lowered by 10% every 5 years. If people could walk to all the buildings they needed to, and all other forms of transportation were made greener, and carbon dioxide emissions would be significantly reduced. There are quite a few technologies designed to make houses more energy efficient. One is the cool roof. Because darker colors tend to absorb heat, using lighter colors for roofs help keep houses and buildings cool instead of using air conditioning. Turning around the blades of fans in winter, warm rooms, getting rid of the need to raise the temperature using a thermostat. The urban island heat effect is a large cause of climate change. The urban heat island effect is that the metropolis areas tend to be 2 to 3 degrees hotter than surrounding suburban areas. Green roofs help counter the urban heat island effect by improving air quality and providing greener insulation for buildings they are a part of.
My name is Maya Ponce. I'm an environmental and ecological economist, and as an environmental and ecological economist, I find the cost of supply and demand and how that affects the environment and economy. If we fail to reduce global carbon emissions quickly, the most expensive thing we can do is nothing. Global warming has already damaged property, infrastructure, lost productivity, money, and much more. Companies like Better Place, a project that sells car batteries to energy cars as a cheaper alternative to gas cars, are cheaper alternatives to many of our energy sources, which helps the environment and the economy. One by one, we can reduce carbon emissions and help both the economy and environment by using companies like Better Place.